Is it wrong to pick up girls in a dungeon?
Yeah, like it's weird titles like that.
Yeah. All those weird
Hello
anime with weird titles. I don't know what to think about them.
and welcome. My name is Alex Gonzalez. With you today is my good old friend J.E.
Hey, that's me.
And please remember that we are not game devs. How are you doing today, Jay?
I'm doing all right. I slept 12 hours today. I think this is going to be a daily thing or
Amazing.
weekly thing on Mondays where I just sleep the entire day.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I'm sick. But those are not the statuses we're talking about today. We're talking about today something new. Every week, We Are Not Game Devs will create a new, exciting video game idea that we have always wanted to play, but not to have any knowledge or know how to create the wonderful experience that are video games. And today is my turn to present We Are Not Game Devs 166th IP.
66.
65th.
65th.
Let's begin with this basic concept.
96th.
196. You're right. I accidentally flipped the 9 upside down. All right. I forgot what it was. And now I have to come up with... Oh, no, there it is. Okay, it's back. So I want to create a game that's a passion project for me. And what this is I want this to be a game where you start off and it's like you pick your character and you have a little personality quiz in the beginning. And it's going to ask you what your favorite color is, what animals you like, whether you would, if you find 3 stones, a red one, a blue one, a yellow one, or a green one, or maybe 4 stones, 5 stones, which would you pick? What's like what's your preferred method of action? How would you be? And it's going to judge your personality. And based off that, you're going to get an element and a animal type. And the animal type's going to guide how you attack and your melee attacks. But then later, you're also going to get a mech that you can summon for a special. Then later in this RPG, you're going to meet other people based off your personality quiz that are going to join your party who are also going to have these options. And then later than that, and this is probably all going to be in the first and second act because I'm planning on going long, you can then combine everybody based on your personality quiz to make an entirely new Megazord mech that is pretty rare. This is the one I'm thinking. Our technology will make it where there's different ways that the mech can get combined. So let's say you end up becoming a fire pterodactyl. So, or a fire like bird, like a hawk or whatever. And because you're the leader and you're at the head, it's going to have the wings as the head and it's going to be designed around that. And the other choices that you made are going to be incorporated as such, where it's going to make a cool mech, but it's not going to be like anybody else's because they're going to be slightly different depending on how they choose in their party members. What do you think?
Okay. So I think I've missed the first half of your thing. So you take a personality quiz at the very beginning of the game. And that kind of
just like Digimon World, that gives you your first Digimon.
I think that's where I got kind of lost, where I'm like, what are you talking about? Because I didn't play Digimon World. But okay, I like this. So you take this Firewatch opening thing where you just take a quiz, right? And you just answer some questions. And then that kind of determines what you're going to experience for the rest of the game. But instead of...
it's going to be your fighting style, your upgrades, trees.
Instead of a personality quiz, what if we make it more like the Kingdom Hearts personality quiz where it's super vague? Like it's like you don't even know what you're answering to.
Yeah.
Where in Kingdom Hearts, it's like, what does your heart tell you most? I like to save my friends. I want to gain all the power. Or I want to know all the knowledge.
And I think that's great. And what we can also do is there could also be a good path and a bad path. So you don't even have to be saving people.
Yeah. What if at the opening of the game, it doesn't open with the personality quiz? It actually opens up with kind of a, think of like how, I don't know if this is just extended edition. I don't even know if you're going to get this reference, but in the Lord of the Rings Fellowship of the Ring extended edition, the movie starts off with a lore dump where it just tells you about the world. You know what I mean? So what if we do that? Kind of Elden Ring does, most big RPGs do that, where it opens with a lore dump of introducing you to this world, right? We'll do that and introduce your character and kind of give framing of why your character is important in this world. And
I was thinking, yeah, and you could say like there's, and I want to go almost like a little where we're mashing up a bunch of cool anime where it's almost like Digidestined, where like on this earth, it's been generations, but before then there were these people who were chosen and they banded together because they were all able to bond and create but instead of a Digimon, imagine it being like a persona, but instead of a persona, it's like a mechanical thing that's bound to you. That's almost like a deity.
like,
and there's
like
different
13 Sentinels Aegis Rim.
See, it's just all coming together like that. And then there's other people on this earth that also do that, but they can, if they like pursue their bonds with each other, they can also grow and come together.
But
So now
most
you have
people
different
don't
party
know
members.
about that because they haven't explored those bonds as far as your character and some select supervillains for some reason have.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there's this big lore dump. And the reason I want to do that is to make this personality quiz as it's not directed to you, the player, as much as what do you want this adventure to be, or adventurer to be like? You know what I mean? Of course, you can answer as yourself, but I kind of want the player to understand my choices here is going to shape how my character is going to be as a person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think character is going to be silent protagonist type of dude. So like they're not actually going to say anything. So we don't have to make his dialogue
5 preset voices, and there's going to be certain lines that just make sense. We band together to come as one, and then it starts like forming.
Yeah.
And then you like, okay, what's preset number 2? We band together to come as one.
Okay,
the
like, thing is, we'll have the 5 voices, but they each have a different personality. We'll have not 5, but we'll have like, let's say 8 different personality voices and personalities depending on the quiz. That's the track that you're going to get on. That's the voice you're going to get.
We're gonna ride these voice actors hard, where there's gonna be an evil one, a good inflection, evil inflection.
Exactly. We're going to have
lazy
all
inflection.
that, but we'll do it where it's like, yeah, or the silent protagonist is just going to have like one-liner type of things. So
Yeah.
What really changes is the path you're going to take and the people you're going to meet along the way. And they're going to what makes the protagonist's character come out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be opposed where each track takes you on almost completely different paths, where sometimes you won't even go to some areas and like as one path or another. And yeah, let's make it so there's like 4 paths that you could go. We'll go evil, good, and then like good, neutral, evil, neutral. You know what I mean? But then each of those will have 2 different voice tracks that are like leaning more towards neutral and leaning more towards good, bad, or whatever. And so we'll have 8 different voice tracks for personality tests and then 4 different main paths. And then on those paths, there's like 2 different variations that can happen.
I like it. And this is the way I think the combat should go. I think the combat should be you doing combos with the inflection of your personality. So, like, let's say bird characters are going to be lots of kicking, very fast. If, like, you're a character like an elephant or a rhino, it's going to be very strength-based, tossing. I'd like to see like different martial arts based on that. And then along with that, I can see it where you can summon your mech animal or thing companion, and then from there they can fight alongside you, and then there's maybe a limited state where you can control it, and then there's the other upgrade where it's almost like a limit break.
Yeah. Real quick,
And you can do it with members of your party.
Members of the party. Every path you take, you get a total of 5 party members, you yourself included. So
Yeah.
it's going to be a little bit different where on the field at all times, you're going to see your 4 friends out there fighting, right?
Well, I think you could do some main missions and some side missions where it'll be only you.
Yeah, or like select few, like friendship missions or side quests and stuff that only certain of your party members want to go on.
But big bosses, it's going to be just like how One Piece does it, where everybody shows up eventually.
Yeah. And I also think that for the most part, the open world exploration, when you have all 5 or 4 party members, and then 5, including yourself, when you're just exploring, it's just going to be that. It's going to be 5 people on screen at all times.
And what I want to add on to that is every single variation and personality and animal you get will also have a travel mode. And each of your party members will also have a travel switch style where all of their mechs transform into a travel mode so you can go fast and skip stuff.
Yeah. And
if you want, they get to places.
They all have a different look to them or whatever.
Yeah, when they get into that travel mode, where some make sense, some have to like spawn wheels or whatever.
Definitely. Okay, cool. I think that depending on like what questions you answer will like specific questions will have 2 answers pretty much, and then that'll pretty much tell you which party member you're going to get later on or whatever. You just don't know that as the player at first. I'm sure there's going to be guides to get like a specific party or whatever, but you're never going to be able to get everyone that you want. Like I think there's going to be like
there's going to be, I want all the mech combinations to be awesome, but I'm sure there's going to be some that are just like, yo, if you just get Hawk, Jaguar, Tiger, and this is the base, like this is what it turns into. Yeah, I can imagine.
But I think there's also going to be like red threads where it's like, man, if they only allowed these characters to be in the same party at the same time, I think this is what the mech would look like. You know what I mean? Because like, you're if let's say far end spectrums, good versus evil paths, those party members and the evil paths, maybe only 2 party members will ever go to the other side. Like, I don't think most of those party members will ever meet each other or be on the same party. But once you get to the neutral, there's going to be some intermingling there. Right. But there's going to be some characters in your party that you could only get if you take a specific path, you know? And so I feel like there's going to be a lot of fans later on that's like, what if the best of the goodest of the good party members versus the evil of the evilest party members were on the same party? What would those mech combinations look like? And if we ever have DLC, maybe we could show them, you know?
Yeah. That sounds great. Now, do you want the characters also to have weapons? Nah. What I wanted to do for the different acts and different regions that you'll be visiting, I want there to be different cool armor for each of your party members to equip. Almost like a different Power Ranger season or a different, like when there's a robe change. That way it just looks cool.
So if you want it like that, what if we make it tied to story reasons? Like at certain points, your whole party gets new outfits because of a story reason.
Yeah. And they're like upgrading the suits and then like, you know, excuse stuff like biocompatibility.
Yeah.
In the mech.
And what if the mechs get upgraded as well? So you slowly see like new weapons and improvements on your mech as the game goes on.
That'd be cool, like supporter mechs that are smaller, but it's because they take the form of weapons, and maybe they're like AI that helps guide you too.
Yeah. If your characters don't have weapons, what are they fighting when they're not in the mechs with?
Their fists, karate, different. I was thinking about different styles of fighting.
You don't want there to be like
that,
bows and nunchucks, not bows.
I
Like
think
a bow
that
and
you
arrow,
could.
but like a bow. Like
that's
stick.
why I kind of brought it up. Yeah, depending on their style, you could do that as well.
What if it's fists, bows? Depending on the character, they use a different thing. But it's not like other RPGs where you could interchange the weapon. You could interchange, I think, like how you're getting stat upgrades in this. I don't think it's from equipment. Maybe we can make it more like you equip accessories. Like what if this is a game where you just attach a bunch of accessories? So like that will show in game. So you could get arm wrappings or like earrings or like a head wrap or like legging wrap thingies. I don't know what they're called, like leg warmer stuff. And those will show outside, but you get like 5 slots.
I want to do it. I want to do it like accessories, but I want every character to look almost like if you were to take Destiny and bring it into a different alternate age where there's like chosen ones who can go into mechs. So then you can like add a scarf if you want, or add like different claws. Like so instead of them having gloved hands, they have like clawed hands.
Like on the
or
mech?
A different helmet, huh?
Like on the mech?
No, on the individual character
suits. Yeah, exactly. No, definitely. I think that's the same vibe I was going for. But these things you could put on everyone. I don't think these are going to be character specific. You know what I mean?
Okay, I see.
Yeah, so like if it's a scarf, any of the party members could wear a scarf. But it will show on the character.
Yeah.
What if we made it show on the mechs too? Like if you put a scarf on the pterodactyl will be wearing a scarf.
We could do that, like incorporate that. Yeah. So like if it were the head of the robot, the scarf would show up as like a scarf. But if it were on the hands, like if it were one of the hands, then it would be like a fist wrap. Or if it were like if it represented the legs, then it would be like tie wrap, around the shins.
Yeah. Definitely. Maybe 5 is too much. What if each character gets like 4 slots and then you can't get like 2 head wrappings on one character at the same time?
Yeah, I see that.
Like the accessories will have like places they could go. So you can't put like 4 rings on, I mean, you could, but in video game logic, you can't. You can only put 2 rings on.
Yeah. I see it. I think that'll work. So we have the combat down. It's going to be semi beat 'em up, as you're kind of going through levels and trying to advance. I think the leveling up system will just be based off story and how far you're going and whatnot. I don't think the story is going to be all that dark, but I don't think it's going to be light either.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
You don't think this isn't like a grindy kind of game? It's just going to be a linear go through a story because you're going to want to play it at least 4 times.
I think there's going to be, if we're doing an open world, I do want there to be certain bosses or certain groups of people that are going to be harder to beat or can't be beat till a certain time.
What do you mean by a certain time?
Like once you're leveled enough or once you feel or you're really good at combat.
So what if it's not level based, but it's like as you get to certain points in the story, your mech will gain new abilities and also your characters will gain new abilities that you could use that will eventually let you take on the harder and harder parts.
That sounds better. Yeah, because if you think about it, your mech can then get lasers, fire, it can get new attacks.
And maybe for the character fist-to-fist combat, you just learn better combos type of thing. Maybe it's like a combo base.
Yeah. I think the Kingdom Hearts leveling system would be perfect for this game. Now that I think about it, where it's like +2 attack, +1 defense, plus magic, and then hey, look, you gain this ability. You want to use this, and then.
And what if your stat upgrades differ by your personality test, just like Kingdom Hearts?
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah. So I think that would work really well. And you're kind of going around trying to save the world, while also not from the people who have been granted this skill, but instead, or this power, but instead use it for evil and try to take over the world. Simple story.
Yeah. Or the other way around if you're on the other side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can even make it another story where maybe you're neutral and bad and you just feel persecuted and you just want to do what you want.
Like a rebel vigilante type of thing.
Yeah, like mercenary people.
Yeah. I like it. Yeah, like 4 completely different stories. I don't know. What is it? 16 to 20 different party members that you get. Like what? What is that? 5 different combinations of different mechs and robots that you could get. It's going to be pretty extensive. You're going to want to do multiple replays. The story, I want to say, takes anywhere between 8 to 10 hours, depending on your skill level. So it's like easily replayable. You don't have to take, you don't take too long through the story. And like it moves pretty quick. You get your party members pretty quick. You get to learn about them and then go out on story missions with them and stuff. And do this grand adventure with them for like 8 hours with the whole party all together. Like 2 hours of tutorial, 6 to 8 hours of main gameplay and side missions and stuff like that. Get to know your party members and all that, or not. And then the conclusion, and then the easy replay mode. And then maybe like if you play all the story missions, through, you get like a 5th ultra neutral, take your own path type of path.
Oh, where you get to play with whoever you want at this point.
We can make it like that, where it's like instead of a personality quest, it's like
you just choose your party.
Yeah, you just choose your party. Be like who? Like I don't know how it would be phrased, but would it just be like, yeah, who do you want?
What if it's like a certain type of new game plus where they're just like or almost like a Red Dead zombie where it's like chaos has rained down and now friends and foes must come together to take on, and then whatever it is.
What if it's more like not a time loop, but like a beginning of a time loop, but it's not a time loop, where the new game plus ultra or whatever, once you beat all 4 stories, you get to start a new game and it's just like destiny has favored this character or whatever, and you could forge your own path type of thing, and you get to just choose your own party members. But in this path, it's a set story, and your party members, like, they don't interact with each other like how they would in the main game paths, because you could just choose whoever.
Yeah.
But it just tells one story. You have the party members you're with, and it'll be like Danganronpa or like Persona, where when you talk to your individual parties, you and them have a relationship. But when you get together, you might as well forget that relationship exists, because they won't ever acknowledge what happened when you're individually meeting up together. You know what I mean? It'll be like that on the New Game Plus only. On the main paths, your party members talk to each other. They have chemistry. Certain characters don't like each other and stuff like that. But in this ultra 5th path, because you could pick whatever character parties you want,
it's just not built out that way.
Yeah, for the conversations. But we'll have mechs for every
Unless I wish we could build it out that way, and we're like a teaser for the sequel, and you're just like, what?
And then the sequel,
but then people would be like, why did they just do this for the whole game?
Yeah,
what's wrong with them?
With the sequel, just be like all the party members come together, and then it's like good, evil, neutral, it doesn't matter. We all have to get together to beat this one giant thing.
I just don't think you could, because then it's like, well,
characters that would literally hate each other are on the same team.
Yeah, and where's the mystique in the world building? You throw it all away.
Yeah.
What's this game looking like to you?
I don't think it looks amazing, but it doesn't look like shit either. And the reason why I see this being made by, we're going to skip ahead for me a little bit. Give me a second to bring him up. I see this game being made by Monolith Soft. They primarily make games for Nintendo. So I don't see it looking great, but I also don't see it looking shit either, because they're the Xenoblade team. They're known for creating giant not just 100 hours. I'm talking like 150 to 200 hour JRPGs, giant sprawling open worlds, all on the Nintendo platform. Of course, this game's a lot more focused and toned down, so they just have to put their focus down and then like make this game a lot shorter and more focused. But they can make, with a focused game like that, they could probably make a game look way better than a Xenoblade game. And Xenoblade games don't look bad. They don't look good, but they don't look bad, you know?
Right. No, I see where you're going with that. So, what music are we having in here?
I mean, if we're sticking with Monoslav, it's just going to be an orchestra.
Yeah.
With a couple weird hip hop songs thrown in there that don't sound very good.
Or there's gonna be some weird twist on it where it's like, bounce, 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 wow, wow, and you're like, do you guys remember that one city that had the weird fucking music?
And Xenoblade X or whatever. Did you play Xenoblade X?
No, I wanted to, especially when I heard that like the swords were like Pokemon and you upgraded. But I heard that the game just had systems within systems within systems.
They're crazy. These games are insane. Like some of the most intricate battle systems I've ever played, and they're so satisfying. They're like the most satisfying battle mechanics, but they're so complicated. And you have to, I literally watched at least an hour worth of video to understand how to battle in all these games, and all the Xenoblade games I played, which is just two. Xenoblade 2 and Xenoblade X, or whatever it's called, Chronicle X. In Chronicle X, I didn't even get to the part where you get mechs. And like, that's like 70 hours in. You get mechs, and you get like flying jetpacks, and I didn't get any of that because it's just so long and extensive.
That's so crazy.
But in Xenoblade Chronicle X, the hub city, the hip hop song that went on, there was a voice track. It wasn't singing. There was no rapping, but there was a track that just went, huh, yeah, all right, yeah.
Oh,
huh.
I hate that.
Oh yeah, all right. And that was just on a loop. And it's a big city. It takes like minutes to walk around the whole thing. And you just got to listen to, yeah. But it's only daytime. At nighttime, it was a different song. Thank God.
At least they have that.
Yeah.
Well, Jay, get your timer out because we're going to name this game.
Go. Unite.
There's already Pokemon Unite.
But this one's just Unite.
What if we say come together?
Right now.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking. My brain said that first and then was like, come together.
Assemble.
Unite sounds good, but there's Pokemon Unite.
Assemble.
Huh?
Assemble.
Galvanize.
What does that mean?
No. I know that you can galvanize by pushing a soul into a shoe. Let me see. Okay. We're going to figure this out. Coalesce.
What does that mean?
Come together. Like combine.
What if we call it What if you call it like
Amalgam.
like
For amalgamate, which is blend.
what if we call it like soul link or soul links or links to the soul or friendship chain
Soul Link works.
or something like that. Chains of friendship. Chains of
Bring
souls.
No, that would be too. I was like, what about huddle? What if we called it rally? The rally system. No. Kahoot.
Cahoots.
I don't know. Resonate.
Sure. Resonate in 2 minutes and 25 seconds.
You just got to find the cool enough word that hasn't been used yet. All right. Resonate's a game where you play in a third-person action RPG adventure, all the buzzwords, as your own very character, which you design yourself by answering strict questions that then allow you to get a soul animal bound to you. It's more like a deity. You find out that there's 4 or 5 or more chosen in the world, and you must seek them out to battle evil. In time, you will learn to not only resonate with your soul deity, but with those around you to create unstoppable and unimaginable power in Resonate. All right, Jay. What do you think? It sounds like we have a game here. Would this be a game that you'd want to play, and is it fun?
Yeah, I mean, I think I would give it a shot just because, like, I give random JRPGs a shot every once in a while. I'll give this one a decent.
Well, okay,
try.
I would try selling it like this. I'd be like, hey guys, do you remember that dragon game you guys all wanted for the Xbox?
Yes, Dragon Scale. Is that what it was called?
Well, you're not getting that, but you're getting something like this. So what do you think?
That was Platinum Games, right?
Yeah, this would totally be a game that I'd want to play. Yeah, I love the personality stuff at the beginning of games. I love fusing. I love having unique mech combinations that other people don't have because of my decisions. Every contrarian out there is going to be like, yes, this is what I want. I'm not like the others.
Every contrarian that's into mechs that come together and also like to have something that they summon and have alongside them.
A buddy.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think it's I don't think I would play it with the intention of seeing through all of the different stories, but I would get through like 1.5 and then just forget about it and maybe look up videos.
Now that until you see how cool the mech is and how cool the combat is when you get down to your 4th storyline.
Sure, but I'd just be like, oh yeah, that's cool. Now I'm gonna play Elden Ring.
What game studio do you think would be able to make Resonate the best?
Yeah. Well, I already said Monolith, but another one I'd throw out there would be RPG Factory or whatever it's called from Square Enix. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do. I would do Capcom and Ninja Theory, the people behind Devil May Cry. I think that would make the battle system really fun. And I think they could still make mechs seem cool and light instead of being just machines.
They're called Tokyo.
The other one
RPG
for me
Factory.
was what?
They're called Tokyo RPG Factory.
Okay. And the other one for me would be Insomniac.
Random.
Well, think about it. They do Ratchet and Clank, which has a bunch of mech-like stuff.
Sure.
They do like RPG, fun, lighthearted stories that people want to play, and they write characters well.
Yeah.
So we could do something like that, and I think that would work out fantastic. I'm trying to think of anyone else. I don't know. Who do you think?
I mean, I would
People
say
just don't
Atlas,
like
but they're just going to make the game too long.
Where the fourth ending, the fifth ending's the true ending, where you're actually facing the real evil behind it all.
Yeah. And it's just a red herring for something else.
Yeah, and then they release a game like a whole year later where there's actually a real main character that's way better than the other main character that you played with, or there's a partner that changes everything.
Yeah.
And with that, our 196th IP has gone gold. We hope you look forward to this experience that will probably never release. It should. You can write to @poundgames@gmail.com if you have anything to patch into the game we create today. Also, give us feedback. We are still learning how to make the show better, and your feedback really helps. We have a Patreon. If you'd like to back our ideas, please head over to patreon.com/wearenotgamedevs. Patrons receive episodes 2 days early and an extra podcast at the beginning, which you caught the tail end of our conversation at the beginning of this episode. That's patreon.com/wearenotgamedevs. If you liked our show, why not subscribe and give us all the stars on Apple Podcast, Google Play Store, Spotify, YouTube, and more. And if they ask for a review, instead of reviewing our show, become your game critic and review Resonate, the video game we just created. Thank you for joining us today. We'll be back next Friday with another new IP. Again, my name is AG.
And I'm JE.
Thank you, and please remember that we are not game devs. Well, over the course of that show, I slowly lost breathing capacity in my right nostril and then my left nostril. And on that outro, I feel like I sound nasally than ever.
I didn't notice, but maybe that's just because it's like I
think I'm nasally normally.
I mean, a little bit, but like I think it's just because I was listening to you the whole time, and so it just sounded the same to me because it gradually changed. I was gonna say changed, but that's not how you